fuck is going on? It's been a while, right? I mean, so much has changed. I've missed you so much. And I'm obviously talking about football. Everything else did fucking go absolutely insane, but football's back, bringing somewhat of a sense of normalcy, and thank fucking God. And with football coming back comes your favorite neighborhood degenerate. Just gonna be sitting here rambling like a high moron about the games, the lines, what bets I'm making. I'm gonna throw some shit out there on Twitter. I'm gonna throw some shit out there on Instagram. And we'll have a little fun, maybe make a little bit of money, and if not, I'll make some spreadsheets, and it'll be fun. I'll post them on the site, and you guys can look at them, and I don't know. I'm a fucking guy who likes to make spreadsheets and do this bullshit, and I don't know why. It's a hobby of mine. I enjoy it. And what drives those spreadsheets is another hobby of mine, which is gambling. And we're going to talk about that shit. Now, just to give a quick little recap, right? Some of you may have listened last year, some of you may not have. Basically what it is I did this all last year. My job started getting a little bit crazy around COVID, which was right around the end of the football season because I am in construction. So I didn't really have the time to do some of the preview shit I wanted to for baseball. I did a little NBA stuff. I was going to dive more into that after football, and then some March Madness stuff. But again, work was nuts. Basically, like I said, in construction, we have an end date. They shut down the project for a few weeks, and they were like, oh, by the way, your end date didn't change. So that turned into 6-day weeks, 10, 12, sometimes more than that hour days. It was a wild fucking ride for a while there. And then when it kind of slowed down, sports had stopped. I was kind of like just not, like it was in the middle of it. So like once sports stopped, I was kind of out of it, and then work was crazy. And then by the time work wasn't crazy, it was in the middle of this fucking thing called the NBA bubble, and there was some sort of 60-game or 90-game fucking baseball season after the players almost struck like a bunch of fucking whiny bitches. But, fuck the owners too. But at the same time, fuck them both. I mean, nobody wanted to hear that shit, right? So I didn't really have anything to talk about at that time. But you know what? Football's starting. It's fresh. But I still wasn't fucking into it. And then all of a sudden, the fantasy draft started. And I'm sorry. I should have gotten some sort of fantasy preview out there. I did 4 fucking drafts. God knows I did enough research. But I just didn't really have the time between some of the research and still the work being a little nuts. And just random shit, softball shit, whatnot. It's kind of tough. But here we are. We're back. It's football season. And granted, it is week 1. So I didn't get to any of the preview shit I wanted to for the entire season. But here's just a little quick, highlight of the shit that I went with. And I really only started looking at this stuff like a week ago, to be completely honest. It's just been that crazy. And I dove into it, put some shit together. And even though the numbers have been hit ridiculously because it's been out there for so long, like win totals and division winners, I found some stuff that I still liked based on what I kind of think is going to go down. And it's weird because I looked at the stuff that I did last year, and I think it's kind of similar. I don't know. Maybe I got some sort of weird bias. Or maybe I should have been more right last year than I was. Maybe I got a bad break. I don't know. Maybe I give myself too much credit. Maybe I hit the bonk too many times. I don't know. But we're going to be out here. We're going to dive through it. So like I said, some of the preseason shit, right? First thing I'm going with is Indy under 9.5 wins. I think that is ridiculous. I don't care what they did last year. I'm not a Phillip Rivers believer. I'm not a believer really in their receiver core. They did have a very good defense, but I think their division is going to be a little bit tougher. I think they got a lot to contend with, and it's mainly Phillip Rivers. I don't believe in him, and his supporting cast is suspect at best, especially on the offense. Like, look at this. They got, T.Y. Hilton's going to get hurt at some point during the season. I think that's a given fact right now. And then Paris Campbell, like Jack Doyle. Then you got Marlon Mack. Jonathan Taylor is fucking going to be amazing, I'm sure. But I'm not scared of this offense, like at all. 9.5 wins is a lot. It is. And I just don't see it. Because they're going to have to play a lot of tough teams. Twice. They're going to have to play Houston and Tennessee twice. Like, granted, they're going to beat up on the Jaguars twice. But they'll be lucky if they go 3-3 in the division, I think. I think one of those teams, the Titans or the Texans, are going to sweep them. And they'll go 1-1 against the other. And then 2-0 against Jacksonville. So that's 3-3 in the division. And the rest of their schedule isn't really, easy. They got the NFC North. So they got Detroit, who I'm very high on. You'll hear that in a little bit. Green Bay, Minnesota. It's a tough division. Chicago is not a pushover either. I don't like them, but they're not a pushover. Like, they got 2 Jacksonvilles. They got a Cincinnati on the schedule. They got a Vegas, who's not going to be terrible. But other than that, there are no gimmies. 9.5 wins for a team with a brand new quarterback who's fucking 2/3 left of a draft class where one of them retired. I don't think so. I don't get it, man. So yeah, under 9.5. I had a little bit of juice on it. It was minus 120, but I still like it a lot. Next one is the Giants. My New York Giants. I am going under 6.5. I got it at 110. I love the number. I don't see them winning a game until like week 6. Like, and then after that, it's fucking tough again. Like they go Pittsburgh loss, Chicago probably not a win, San Francisco loss, Rams loss, Dallas loss, and then the Washington football team comes to town. Like, no thanks. That's one win right there. Philly loss, Tampa Bay loss, Washington football team. They're going to split with the Washington football team. So one of those 2 games are going to be a loss. They better hope it's not the first one. Otherwise, they're going like 0-8. And that's just going to be bad. And then at the end, they got Cincinnati, which could be a win. Another Philly, Seattle loss, Arizona loss, Cleveland loss, Baltimore loss. Like, the Giants are going to go like 3-13 if they're lucky. I just don't see it. Like, they got a ton of offensive weapons, and I think they're going to be good on offense. They'll be able to hang with some teams, but they're not going to be able to stop anybody. I just don't see it. Like, their depth chart is pretty rough on the defensive side. Like, they might be able to stop the run a little bit, but like, nah, man. I don't see it. I like, cool. Like, they got some new secondary guys. I like Jabril Peppers. I do. But Blake Martinez, like, he's already questionable. They got that edge rusher from, like, Old Dominion University that they took 2 years ago. They got the big guys up front. Like, they should be able to do good against the run. I think they'll be okay, but I don't know. It always just seems to fall apart for them, and I just don't believe in Daniel Jones yet. So I'm taking the Giants under 6.5. It's mainly on the schedule, though. I think they got a pretty tough schedule. And then after that, I'm going under 9.5 for Tampa Bay also. I'm sorry, Tom. You're in the same class as Phillip Rivers. I don't believe in you. I love the weapons. I love the situation. I want to think it's going to be cool because I would love to see you be the guy over Belichick. But I just don't think so, man. And to me, this is a little Jordan on the Wizards-esque, and I'm just not a fan. Under 9.5. You'll hear me talk about that division in a second, though. Got a little other nugget there. But so those are my preseason, win totals that I got played out there. Division winners. So this is just a little bit of division winners. I don't have a Super Bowl winner. I don't have a conference winner. But a couple of division stuff I liked. I like Detroit at plus 550. Not a big believer in Aaron Rodgers. I think Minnesota's suspect, and I think Detroit their offense is going to be able to hang in any single game as long as Stafford stays healthy. If Stafford stays healthy, it's going to be a pretty dirty offense. And I think DeAndre Swift, the new running back, he's got to stay healthy too. He's going to be a good compliment to Kerryon Johnson. He couldn't carry the load by himself. Receivers are fucking great, and I like them. I think they're good, and I think they could take that division. 550 is a good number for that. Same thing with the Rams. I think a lot of people are down on the Rams. I think that in this season, there's going to be something said about consistency, and the Rams offense has been together for a while. Now, granted, Todd Gurley's gone, but they got Cam Akers, and you can slide him in there, and he's a fresh, fantastic running back, and maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid from my friends at FSU, but they love the fucking kid, so I hear about him all the time. But if he's half as good as these guys think he's going to be, he can be the running back that offense needs for the passing game to succeed, and I think the Niners are not going to have a good year, and the Seahawks always have a hiccup here and there. They always do great, but there's always a little hiccup. So, I don't know. It's tough. But, yeah. So, I like the Rams in that division, plus 550. Another good number for a good team. And lastly, I kind of hinted at it before with my under for Tampa Bay. I like Atlanta to win the South. And I think I did this last year also. But they started off so terribly, but they ended really well. And it was a change in the defense, who was calling the plays, and that guy's the defensive coordinator now. I'm drawing a blank because, like I said, I'm high. But they changed the play call on the defense, and the defense was fantastic at the end of last year. So they ended well, started poorly. Hopefully the good shit can carry over. And I think just the Saints and the Bucs, it's gotta, I don't believe in either of those quarterbacks. I didn't believe in Drew Brees last year. I'm gonna keep fucking saying it every year. One of these years, I'm gonna be right. He did even get hurt last year, and it was fucking Bridgewater. But we'll talk about him in a little bit here too. So those are my division winner futures that I still like, and these are the prices I got literally just 2 days ago. That's Detroit at plus 550, Atlanta at plus 800, and the Rams at plus 550. And there's one other future bet I placed. I talked about this dude. If Stafford can stay healthy this year, I think that he can put up some really big numbers. And if Detroit wins the division and can go far in the playoffs, I think he's got a shot at getting an MVP. And he's at plus 3,300 right now. So that's what I'm thinking. And these are numbers I got from DraftKings. I live in Jersey, so it's awesome. I can just do that. But it's also tough because I do it a lot. Anyway, I just like to break even and have fun, man. That's all I'm here for. But not really, because I prefer to fucking win money, and that's why I look into it. My hope is that. But sometimes I win money instead. So let's do that together. Let's talk about some of these fucking games. Let's run through it. So one thing I didn't do yet, and I might even cut this in later, but I didn't tell you where you could find all of my shit. And I'm going to have a new website. I'm going to have a whole thing set up, but it's not ready just quite yet. But if you go to my Twitter at ThatSportsDope or Instagram at ThatSportsDope, in the bios there'll be links, and that'll get you to the podcast. And this is going to be like a trial run just so I can get it out there on iTunes, test the feeds, and all that bullshit. It sucks that I'm doing it like in the middle of week one, but there it is. Anyway, so let's dive into week one. How about that? So the first game, Thursday night, defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs, they are hosting Houston. And so if you're new, if you didn't listen last year, what I like to do is I like to, in my head, before I see the lines or do anything like that, I write down what I think the line's going to be. Then I say what the line really is. And when there's a difference, we'll talk about it. It makes for interesting conversation as well. So Houston to Kansas City, I thought the line was going to be Kansas City minus 11.5. Right now, it's at like 9.5, 10, depending on where you look at it. not too much of a difference. I think 11.5 might have been a little bit more bettable, and starting to see why it dropped a little bit, because I think Houston would have been looking good, because I was even thinking of Houston at like the 9.5, 10 mark, depending on where you looked. And it's mainly because first game of the year, it's a lot of points. Houston's offense should be able to keep up with them at the very least. And, KC's defense, little Super Bowl hangover too. But I stayed away from it. Don't like it. What I did do, though, and honestly I have no sponsors or anything like that, but if you just go to fucking FanDuel, I think that's what it is. No, it's DraftKings. You can go there and place a bet up to $50 on this game with the Chiefs plus 101 points. So it's just like free money. So why not just go do that? I mean, the real advertisement is what I'm going to give to you right now. And we're brought to you by The Couch. The Couch. I'm fucking awesome. Especially on Sundays. Okay, now we're back. So yeah, I'm not taking any of these guys in Houston and Kansas City. Staying away from it, enjoying the game, taking the fucking 101 point bet, making an extra $50 at DraftKings. Next game I have listed on the docket here. Seattle's at Atlanta. When I saw it, I thought it was going to be Atlanta like minus 2.5. Like I said, they finished strong last year, and Seattle's a good team, but they're traveling to the East Coast. Still a long trip, despite the fact that it's not like it's going to be like a raucous crowd or anything like that. So I figured Atlanta would be favored. I figured a field goal would be too much. But Seattle's actually favored by like a point or two, depending on where you look. So I am just not going to stay or do anything with that right now. Like I said, I still like Atlanta. Seattle's a good team. Just going to not do anything with it right now. Next game on the docket, we got the Jets at Buffalo. For a while, I'm in Jersey. I'm fucking 20 miles, maybe less, from the Meadowlands. Or you want to call it MetLife, whatever you want to call it. I was drinking a little bit of the Jets Kool-Aid, a little bit of local sports talk radio, just, hearing more about those guys and others. But then, like, you look at them, and they don't have shit. Like, they drafted the wide receiver Mims, but he's banged up. Crowder's banged up. Perryman's banged up. Hogan's banged up. They got Herndon. They got Bell. They got Frank Gore. And then they got like a second-year quarterback who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, or a third-year quarterback, whatever. And then a defense, it's average at best, and just traded their fucking best player. Like, there's no way that these guys are going to be any fucking good. But I initially only thought it was going to be Buffalo minus 3.5, but it turned out to be Buffalo minus 6, and that's why I'm just staying away, because I was kind of drinking the Jets Kool-Aid. So when I saw it was 6 instead of 3.5, I was like, let me jump on that. And then I looked into the Jets a little bit more. I was like, oh no, they are bad. They're not gonna be a good team. They're bad. So fuck all that. So I'm just gonna stay away because that is still a little bit higher number than I like. The over/under is something like 39, and this is close to a touchdown. So no thanks. Next game on the docket that I got on the little, by the docket I mean my fucking legal pad. Chicago at Detroit. Detroit. I thought they were going to be like minus 2.5. It was actually Detroit minus 3. I'm going to be looking for a 2.5, but I don't think I'm going to find it. Either way, I'll take the 3. You know what's weird about this, right? If you look at the win totals of the Bears and the Lions, like, the Bears are supposed to win more games, but the Lions are favored in what's essentially a neutral zone nothing game. So, it's weird. Take for that what you will. I didn't bet on any of it, but except for some of the Detroit to win the division, so took that one. But anyway, I'm taking the Lions in this game. I am putting a unit on this game, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's my confidence level right now is 1 unit, because it is week 1, and no preseason, no like live games or anything like that for us to watch from these people. Just fucking hard knocks. So 1 unit on the Lions for this one. Then we got Green Bay at Minnesota. I figured it was going to be Minnesota -3. Actually, Minnesota -2.5. I don't care. These are, oh man, what could I say about these teams? They're both very much the same in that they're both good, but they're not that good. But people think they're that good. And in different camps. So, like, you'll have, but neither of them are that good. So, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a good game to watch, though, I think. Fantasy-wise, I have people all over the place. So, that's why I spread my chips around so I have an excuse to watch every fucking game. Even if the teams are not that good. Which, Packers, Vikings, not that good. Next up, we've got the Dolphins going into New England. And this is going to be pretty interesting, right? So, in my little notepad, I wrote down that I thought the line was going to be -4.5. It was currently 6.5. And you know what? I am taking Miami. Give me Miami. Give me the points. I might even... No, I'm taking the 6.5 because I don't know if it's going to hit 7. If it's 7, people are going to lose their minds and jump all over it. So I took the 6.5. And I think you should too. I just think, look at the consistency, right? So, first of all, Fitzpatrick, been there last year. He's going to keep it going. He's going to keep the seat warm for Tua. That's totally cool. He knows these receivers. He played with them last year, like I just fucking said. He's got 2 new pretty decent running backs. Look at the Patriots side now. They lost some defensive pieces. They got Cam as a quarterback. They never really had wide receivers. They were probably doing it with smoke and mirrors the whole time. Who fucking knows? Bottom line is, it's going to be a new Cam and a new coach and a Fitz and a receiver core that are going to know each other from last year. I'm going to be more confident in them. I like Miami actually a lot. Miami beat them last year, I think last game of the season, and Tom Brady was there. Like, in New England. So, look, I get it. The Patriots are probably going to come out and be like, fuck Tom, we're going to win, despite of him. But I don't think all that's going to be enough. I think Fitz is going to fucking just smash the ball over the field. Devontae Parker is going to catch it. Who's the other guy? Preston fucking Williams, I think his name is. And then you got Jordan Howard and Matt Breida running all over the place. I'm just... Yes, I was right, Preston Williams. Haha. But anyway, yeah, I'm taking Miami. And you know what I'm doing too? I'm taking Miami as the dog. Plus 230 on the money line, right? I will throw a little bit on that one too. A little half unit there, full unit on the game itself with the plus 6.5. I'm all over it. All right. Next matchup on the board, Philly at Washington. Thought it was going to be Philly -6.5. It was Philly -6. Not really much more to say. I am not a big fan of Philly this year, but Washington is terrible, so I don't give a fuck about this line or this game. But Philly is banged up, and I'm going to be looking to bet against them in the near future. Because I think they're going to win this game. They're going to win it pretty handily. And people will be like, oh, wow, well, they'll be all right. They could bounce through this. They could power through the all the injuries in the receiving core and the offensive line. And then they're going to go out and get smashed next week. So I'm going to be looking to bet Philly next week off this win. I don't even know who the fuck they're playing next week. But that's what my thought process just went to. Let's see who they're playing next week. You can come with me while I look this up. Boom. Philly, they're playing the Rams. Oh, man. Yeah, they're going to get smashed at home. All right. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a West Coast team. We'll see. We'll have to look at that one. Play that one by ear. Anyway, next up, we got Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to Carolina. I thought the line was going to be Carolina -1.5. Maybe I was missing some things. Like, I understand Carolina had a lot of changes over the offseason. Quarterbacks, coaches, everything. And since there's no training camp, well, there was training camp, but there was no preseason. They haven't really had a chance to really work it out except anybody but themselves. You know how that goes. The coaches are like, hey, man, let this play work just so we can see how it goes, blah, blah, blah. And then you do that too many times, and then you try during a game and you get your fucking head ripped off. But I still thought Carolina was going to be favored. Like, they're the home team. Vegas isn't that good. They're traveling all the way across the country. And the line was Vegas, like, -3. But I still can't bring myself to bet on Carolina. New quarterback, like I just said, new quarterbacks, new coaches. Still the greatest running back in the league, but that don't mean shit. He's not throwing the ball. He's also not playing defense. And even though I don't like the Raiders, they got no fucking weapons either. They're a team with no weapons also, except a good running back also. But Derek Carr is still more consistent with his receivers. And it's just Hunter Renfrow. That's it, because the only other guy is Ruggs, and Ruggs wasn't there last year for the consistency that I just mentioned. So I can't use him as an example. Man, I am just rambling, though, too. That's cool. So let's just move on to the next game. Not a fan of either of those teams. But if I was to do anything, it might be Carolina. Anyway, if I could find a 3.5, maybe it'll be Carolina. We'll see. But probably not. Nah, probably not. All right, so we got Indy at Jacksonville. Like I said, I didn't believe in Indy. So I thought this line was going to be Indy -3. Like, I knew that they were going to be favored. Because Jacksonville is not a good team. They got rid of their probably best offensive player, and he wasn't that. Well, no, DJ Chark's probably better. And Gardner Minshew, I'm a huge fan of. I like that guy. Even though he's probably not a great quarterback. But they got rid of Fournette. Just fucking sent him packing for nothing. And now they're relying on Chris Thompson and some other guy whose name fucking escapes me right now. Armstead, I think. And Chris Thompson is a great receiving back, but he is like fucking 4'11". Like, he can't run through the tackles. Like, that's got to be up to this one guy, Armstead, now. So, good luck to him. I mean, if he can figure it out, though, Minshew could throw the ball a bit to Chark. Yeah. I think Jacksonville could get a couple, maybe 3 or 4 wins this year. We'll see. But Indy, this line was actually 7 to 8, wherever I found it. And that was still not something I was willing to bet, though. Jacksonville's that bad. Like, they just got rid of Ngakoue, too, so all that stuff is gone. They have nobody on that team anymore. It's Minshew, Chark. That's about it. Like, they got that dude Josh Allen that the Giants should have drafted instead of Daniel Jones. Miles Jack's a great linebacker. But, yeah, all the cornerbacks, that whole shit's done, man. Shit's gone. As soon as it came, I remember like it was yesterday, Jacksonville was beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh and then giving New England tough times. I remember it like it was yesterday. But, guess what? It's fucking like 3 years ago and Jaguars suck now. All right, let's move on. I'm not betting on that game. Cleveland's going to Baltimore. I thought it was going to be Baltimore -10. It's hanging out now at like 7. Still not a fan, though. I want to see Cleveland actually do well before I assume they're going to do well. And doing well means being within a touchdown of the Ravens. But Cleveland does have that potential. And, Cleveland played them twice last year. So they might be a little more familiar with the offense than your average football team. And so I'm going to stay away from this one. Next up, we got the Chargers going to Cincy. Good things on the horizon for Cincy. Not this year, not this game. Chargers, well, maybe this game. Who the fuck knows, right? It's only the Chargers, and they don't have shit. Actually, I like the Chargers. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be better than people think. They got a good receiving core. I like the running backs there. Even though Derwin James is out, I still think they got a pretty decent defense. Yeah, those two fucking edge rushers are going to be tough for Joe Burrow to meet in his first fucking taste of NFL action. It's like, oh, hey, here's Joey Bosa and fucking Melvin Ingram. Bang, 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 fuck you and your cigar. Yeah, so the Chargers, I thought this line was going to be -1.5 by the Chargers. It was more like 3, and I don't care about either of these teams, not right now. So next game up on the docket, I'm going to be pretty interested to watch this, but I'm not betting on the winners here. We got Tampa Bay and New Orleans. When this opened up, I thought it was going to be New Orleans -2. It was like -3.5. I thought that was interesting on the other side of the 3. But I still don't really believe in Tampa Bay. I don't really believe in New Orleans. I think both of these teams actually have above average defenses. And as much as people want to think of them as going to be high-powered offenses, I don't think they're going to be. And you know what's interesting? Because of that, I went to go look at the over-under, and it was only 49. Like, in the Superdome, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, tons of weapons on both sides. Like, I would have been more expecting a line like Kansas City and Houston. That one's like 54.5, 55. So I was looking for something in the 50s to bet the under, and it was 49. So I think I think the odds makers might be knowing that. But you know what? I still took the under 49. Still took it. I think it would be like 24-17, some shit like that. I think we're going to be around that range, 24-20 maybe even. Yeah, so I'm taking under 49 for a unit on this one. So other than that, I'm out of it. Next up, we got Arizona going to San Francisco. I like Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins just signed his big contract today. Good for him. Well deserved. What the fuck do I know? Who am I to say that? But yeah, good for him, though. He's fucking excellent at his craft. And they're going up to San Francisco to play the defending Super Bowl losers. Super Bowl hangovers are real. I would love to bet Arizona, but I'm just not going to. The line's San Francisco -6 is what I thought it would be. It was actually San Fran -7. I check my Twitter. I might be throwing something out here depending on how the early games go. If I lose a bunch of money on Miami and Detroit, look for me to throw some shit on Arizona to just worsen my day. But we'll see. What else do we got here? Next up, we got the Sunday night game. We got Dallas going to the Rams. I actually like Dallas as a team this year. Not like in terms of rooting on them, but I think with the new coach and that offense and that defense, that and the injuries on Philly, that they should waltz right into the division winning. Since the other two teams are completely and fully inept. But they go out to start their season in LA against the Rams. I thought this was going to be the Rams -2. And it was Dallas -3. And look, I'm high on Dallas. I am. But that's a long ride. There's a new coach and a whole new team going against a team that has been with that coach for a very long time. And so they probably have a lot more consistency there. And you're telling me that you're going to give me a field goal? And that offense was best when Todd Gurley was at his best. If Cam Akers, like I said before, can fill that role, that offense should go back to being that, like, holy shit, Sean McVay's a genius offense. Because it only kind of fell apart when Todd Gurley started falling apart. I mean, Jared Goff didn't help. He can't really hold it on his own, but if he can get the run game going, which opens up, everybody says, the play-action pass, and get that done, you bring the safeties down and open it up and wide on the outside and blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is, if Cam Akers could do that and make those dudes stay honest to the run, then the field's going to open up for Jared Goff, and he's got a lot of weapons on the outside he can fucks with. So, I like that. And I think them getting points in this matchup is ridiculous. It's in their own house. I don't care that there's no fans to fucking cheer them on. It's still their own house. They're not staying in hotels. It's their fucking house. And I think that they were disappointed in their season last year. And I think that they're going to fucking probably win this game. But I didn't make them the dog because I already had Miami. It's not that big a juice at like 2 to 3 points. But anyway, I'm taking the Rams for another unit +3. Next up, we're going Monday night. Monday Night Football. So, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the New York Giants. I thought this was going to be open up about 4.5. it was around 6. And the money keeps coming in. So let's take a look at this real quick. First time we're going to this scene right here. Hearing the clicks, mouse going around. Tons of money on the Steelers at 6, right? So I think what's going to happen here, let's check this out. Where is this? We've got, just want to make sure I got the right lines out here. Nope, that's going into week 2. Why would they put it like this? These stupid websites. Now I'm way out there. Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens. Here we are. Sorry, now I found like it's at 5.5 on DraftKings. I think it could hit. If it goes over 6.5, I like that a lot. But 5.5 is okay too, for what I plan on doing with it. But I'm not going to bet this game straight up. We'll talk about the other shit at the end. But I'm not going to bet this game straight up. No thanks. I think Pittsburgh is probably going to beat them. But the Giants are going to have an offense that's going to be able to come back. They're going to stay in games. I think they're going to be a good teaser team. Give them like some, double-digit points there. They'll always bring it within like one big score or scoring a field goal or something like that. They'll be able to push it into the end zone late and bring it from 14-7 just to ruin the 8 points. You know what I mean? They'll be a good team like that. But yeah, so next game on the docket, last one of the week. Tennessee is going to Denver. I kind of like Tennessee. I want to see how they play though before I say that out loud. Even though I did just say it out loud, I'm gonna fucking fileize it and upload it to a website and pump it out on the internet. So yeah, well, it's already said, it's already out there. So there we go. I'll just stick with it. I do kind of like Tennessee. They showed something last year. I think Tannehill was pretty good. Maybe their problem was just Mariota the whole time. Could be. I don't know. But Denver's a tough place to play, so I'm going to wait and see on them. And if they look like complete shit, then I'm going to walk back my, I think I kind of like Tennessee statements that I just made. So that one, I thought it was going to be Denver -1. And depending on where you look, you can find 1 point on either side. So shop around, depending on who you like on that one. If you do like anybody, and take that extra point, just in case it's a 1 point game, you could push, or God forbid it's a fucking tie at the end of a 10:30 start of Monday night, and I'm up till 2 in the morning watching a fucking tie. Imagine that. Ugh. So that's it. That's pretty much chatting about every game, and I think I gave you my little feels on just about everybody at this point. So you kind of see where I stand, but obviously with new information comes changed opinions, and we'll see what week 1 has in store. So let's just recap all the bets I have for the week 1 games. First off, we're taking Detroit -3 against Chicago. We're taking Miami +6.5 at New England. We're going with under 49 in the Tampa Bay and New Orleans game. And we're taking the Rams on Sunday Night Football +3 hosting Dallas. For the dog, we're going Miami +230. And the teaser for the week, let's see, we're going to take the Jets Buffalo down to a pick'em. We're going to take Atlanta, find like a +1 at least out there, +1.5, take it up to 7.5. And then Cleveland. All right, I mentioned that I did like Cleveland. +14.5. Find an 8 out there. Take 14.5. I know it'll be tough to maybe find all those high-ish ones, but those are the ones I'd be shooting for. So get like Buffalo down to close to a pick, Atlanta to just above a touchdown. You want to find that half point extra, and Cleveland, same thing. If you can find that 14.5 also, but I think you'll be in a good place with Cleveland. Atlanta, maybe you'll need it, but I like Atlanta. I think they win this game outright. But I'm still going to throw them in a teaser because I like the 7.5 angle. Right? That's it. Monday night, I'm probably going to throw out a teaser. Right now, I am looking at Denver +7. So try and find that like Denver +1. And I like bringing Pittsburgh down to a pick'em because I don't believe in the Giants. I don't. So, once again, I'm Mike. I'm the Sports Dope. You're going to be able to find me at That Sports Dope on Twitter and Instagram. I got a YouTube channel and shit. You will be able to find all those links on my Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, there's going to be a website thing coming soon. I had some technical difficulties with it. The old website is gone, but I'm going to be on like a Podbean type site, but I bought a domain name. So eventually it's going to be thatsportsdope.com. And that's it. That's all I got for this week. Yo, good luck. I'm going to do a fantasy fucking DraftKings Millionaire Maker, blah, 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 daily fantasy show. At the end of the week, I'm probably going to report it during Thursday Night Football. And I'll put that one out on Friday morning. All right. And I might do videos again later in the year. I didn't really like the idea of my face. So that was tough. But anyway, peace out, guys. Football in 2 days. It is Tuesday. Haha. All right, later.